When you play a game, it's easy to understand a purpose for it. Some games are built to tell a story, whereas some are built to make you test your mechanical skills. There is definitely a through line with most modern series and titles that creates a concrete design philosophy, how maps are structured, how the gunplay dictates PvP, even how music directs your emotion and response to stimuli. A while ago, I played a game which broke all of these conventions. Cruelty Squad is a mishmash of everything. Hitman style gameplay killing super CEOs in a dystopian world which looks like it was textured by someone who fully doesn't really know how to color in between the lines, and it is painful to look at for anyone who has developed a sense of scale or symmetry. It doesn't just toe the line on being playable, it is fully face planted into a design horror based shooter. And I'd recommend taking regular 30-minute breaks to go outside so you don't forget what a normal world looks like. I mean, it's in the name, but that's a single player game. What if there was a game that could hurt multiple people at once? Babdi was made in 2022 and is by the Nemeth brothers. I'm really sorry if I butcher that pronunciation. It's a short game where you need to find a ticket to escape a brutalist city, but this isn't about Babdi. This is about its sequel, Straftat. And when considering art, they are quite similar, even featuring the same characters, your player character being Abubi from Babdi. That is not a real sentence. But where Straftat is different is the gameplay, and it is radically different. Released on the 24th of October 2024, Straftat is not as bright as Cruelty Squad, not even being as colourful as most modern games today, but it is an excellent game, where Cruelty Squad does things that don't make sense at all. Straftat does things that don't make sense at first, but then you realize they are the coolest, most well implemented ideas you have ever seen. If Cruelty Squad was the premium 91 octane that is a shock to the senses, Straftat is the stuff they put in drag cars. 110. Complete lightning bolt down the back of your spine. Like, what is even happening here? It also has a propeller. Straftat is no solid thing apart from a 1v1 game. It encourages out-of-the-box thinking with radically designed maps and insane weapons. There is a map on the game which puts you almost touching the other guy, and while you're like, oh cool, it's a reaction test, it's a game of paper, scissors, rock. Sure, you can go for the insta-kill weapon, but so is the other guy, so you could have a better chance by grabbing the taser, which immobilizes your enemy for long enough to spawn a new weapon and get a free kill. There's other times where it is your first time playing the map and you find a random tunnel and catch a few frames of a melee weapon and immediately know it's time to throw down. You never knew there were even melee weapons before that. It is stuff like this that makes this game the most perfect mix of insanity and genius. It's also what makes it the hardest game to play. I find myself struggling after even 20 minutes of playing because it's just so intense. There are times I play and it feels physically draining on me, and that's not a problem, that's a great thing, because this game is like microdosing speed. It forces you to think so quickly and pushes you to the mechanical limit. I don't think they intended it, but that's why this game hurts to play. It's not relaxed, it's not laid back. It's a crime to make a game this addictive. A game that hurts is certainly a novel idea. It betrays the conventional working format of gameplay in lieu of a more brutally honest and sometimes beautiful in its own way style. Something that is so simplistic like Straftat on a visual and conceptual level helps reinforce the player's interaction with the environment. It replaces the wonder of design and lore of the world more with the ideation and quick thinking of pathing and gameplay. There are some maps on Straftat which are just called ice and are no more than two shapes to interact with. This approach lets the player understand that the game has nothing to hide and that there is nothing to understand apart from the fact that it's you or the other guy across from you. It's reflected in the style of architecture as well. Brutalism, the game's design style, is not a high art. It doesn't win you over with the textures and color of other more detailed types of architecture. A skeleton of sheer concrete is appreciated by its pure values and the silhouette. And I think that the devs understood that when implementing the maps into the gameplay loop. At most there is one gimmick to a level, but other than that, the levels shine in their unique structure and pathways that are either too big to shelter you or too small to fit you, and everything in between. In this way, the game has been constructed to be a great example of simple design being led by great ideas rather than flashy visuals leading subpar gameplay loops. This is the video game equivalent of holding your breath underwater and not knowing how long you are going to be down there before your lungs give out. I highly recommend it to anyone. It's free, fun, and a great exercise in good game development. I can't thank the devs enough for giving us this game with its great concepts, and especially for no extra cost. I think more games like these should be made, games that break the normal design philosophy and carve their own character into your mind, with devs that can innovate on gameplay more than a surface level visual or two. Creating something that shakes someone's preconception and forces them to think is a great way to make a great game. As much as I say that this game can only be played in short bursts because of how extreme on the senses it is, I think it is truly a more beautiful game than a lot of the stuff I have been playing recently because of that fact. It is honest about how it's going to be played from the moment you boot it up, and the devs don't treat you like children about it. When you download it, you know what you're signing up for, or you're about to learn very quickly. A game like Straftat comes around only a few times in a long time, so I would give it a go if I were you. And for those of you that stayed to the end, I am working on another video. It's going to be very long compared to my current format, and I'm very happy to finally be working on something this scale. I have a lot of videos that are in queue, but it's probably going to be a lot longer between releases than normal. Even though I do want to upload more, I just feel I'm not showing my best work. So until then, play Cruelty Squad and Straftat. They're great games in their own right and deserve more attention.